Namaste everyone. Welcome to second lecture of metals and nonmetals. In this lecture, we will see the chemical properties of metals and nonmetals. In the previous lecture, we have seen what are metals and nonmetals, and we have seen their physical properties and exceptions. In chemical property, first we are going to see the reaction of metals with oxygen or air. When we say reaction with air, that means we are talking about reaction with oxygen only. When metal react with oxygen, it forms metal oxide. Examples are copper. When it reacts with oxygen, it forms copper oxide. Aluminium on reaction with oxygen gives aluminum oxide, and magnesium on reaction with oxygen, it gives magnesium oxide. Different metals shows different reactivity towards oxygen. Sodium and potassium react so vigorously that they catch fire if they kept in open, so they are kept immersed in kerosene. So what happens if sodium and potassium, they are open, they react with oxygen in the air and they burn. We cannot keep them inside water also because they react with water, that we will see afterwards. Now magnesium, aluminum, zinc, lead, etc., when they are exposed to air, a layer of oxide is formed on the top of it. So to see their reaction with oxygen or to burn them, what we have to do? We have to first rub them with sandpaper, okay, to get pure metal, and then when we burn with oxygen, we get respective oxides. We have seen that in the case of magnesium ribbon, first what we have done, we have rubbed the magnesium ribbon with sandpaper so as to remove the oxide layer from its surface. If we will not remove the oxide layer, then it will be difficult for magnesium ribbon to burn, as the layer of oxide, it prevents further oxidation of magnesium. So we rub and then we burn and we get white color powder, which is magnesium oxide. So here magnesium, aluminum, zinc, lead, etc., they are not reacting vigorously, they are not reacting as fast as sodium and potassium. So we can say that reactivity of these metals is less as compared to sodium, potassium. Iron, it does not burn on heating, but iron filing burn vigorously. So if we have small pieces of iron that we call iron filing, and if we put them on the flame, then we see that they are burning, okay. And iron as a big piece, it does not burn. What happens? We see the layer of iron oxide on its surface. Copper, it does not burn, but it is also coated with black copper oxide. All these metal oxides, they are basic in nature. That is, their alkali solutions turn, as they are basic in nature, it turns blue litmus red. Silver and gold, they do not react with oxygen at all. So as we see reaction of metal with oxygen, we find that sodium and potassium, they are reacting vigorously, or we can say that their reaction with oxygen is much more as compared to magnesium, aluminum, zinc, iron, etc. Copper, we have seen that its reactivity is very less, and in case of gold and silver, they are not reacting with oxygen at all. There are few metal oxides which are reacting as a acid or base, means their nature is acidic as well as basic. So those metal oxides which show basic as well as acidic behavior are known as amphoteric oxides, or we can say that those oxides with both acidic as well as base to form salt and water. So those oxides which react with both acids as well as base to form salt and water are called amphoteric oxides. So at first sight, or what we can say, that the metallic oxides, they are generally basic in nature. How you check they are basic in nature? So when you form solutions of these oxides, okay, with water, okay, then you find that they turn red litmus blue. That indicate that they are basic in nature, or we can say that their aqueous solution turn red litmus blue, therefore they are basic in nature. So metal oxides, they are basic in nature, but there are few metal oxides which are basic as well as acidic in nature. So here we have few examples like aluminum oxide. Aluminum oxide, it react with acid as well as base. So when it react with acid, its nature is basic. When it react with base, its nature is acidic. So aluminum oxide, when it react with hydrochloric acid, it forms aluminum chloride and water. So as it is reacting with acid and forming salt and water, we can say that aluminum oxide is basic in nature. Now when this aluminum oxide, same aluminum oxide, when it react with sodium hydroxide, it forms a sodium aluminate, again a salt and water. So when it react with base, that time the nature of this aluminum oxide is acidic, and acid plus base gives me salt and water. So I get sodium aluminate, which is NaAlO2 and water. The next example is zinc oxide. Zinc oxide, it is also amphoteric oxide. It reacts with hydrochloric acid to form zinc chloride and water. Similarly, it reacts with sodium hydroxide to form sodium zincate and water. Sodium zincate, this is a very important compound. You have to remember its formula. It is Na2ZnO2, sodium zincate. Now let us see the reaction of metal with water. So what we have seen in case of reaction of metal with oxygen, we have seen that when metal react with oxygen, okay, it forms metal oxide. We have also seen that all the metals are not reacting with the same pace, that is their reactivity towards oxygen is different for different metals. We have seen that the metal oxide which are obtained, they are basic in nature. There are few metal oxides which are basic as well as acidic in nature, that is amphoteric oxide. Now when these metal oxides, generally these metal oxides are not soluble in water, but there are few metal oxides which are soluble in water. So those metal oxides which are soluble in water, they are called alkalis. So the metals, okay, whose oxides are dissolved in water, are soluble in water, these metals are called alkalis or alkali metals. So when sodium oxide, when we react this with water, we get sodium hydroxide. So sodium hydroxide, this is an alkali. Similarly, when potassium oxide, it reacts with water, we get potassium hydroxide. And in the same way, when magnesium oxide, it is dissolved in water, we get magnesium hydroxide. But when we dissolve this magnesium oxide in water, it dissolves partially, that is its reactivity is less as compared to sodium and potassium. Now let us see the reaction of metal with water. Depending upon their level of reactivity, metal react with water, hot water or steam. So when I say water, that means I am talking about cold water or the water at room temperature. Hot water, obviously temperature is more, and steam when it is in vapor form. So depending upon the level of reactivity, metals react with water, hot water or steam to form the corresponding metal hydroxide or oxides along with hydrogen gas. So here when they react with water, okay, we get either metallic hydroxide or metallic oxide along with hydrogen gas. We have seen that when they are reacting with oxygen, we are getting metallic oxides. So metals like sodium and potassium, they react violently with cold water to form their hydroxides as well as hydrogen gas. The reaction is so vigorous that a fire or an explosion can occur. So this is the reason we cannot keep them with water also, because their reaction with water is again vigorous and it can create fire or explosion. Calcium, it too react with cold water to form hydroxide and hydrogen gas, but the reaction is moderate. So when metal it react with water, it gives metal hydroxide plus hydrogen. Now sodium, when it react with water, the reaction is very vigorous and we get sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas. When potassium react with water, again the reaction is vigorous and we get potassium hydroxide and water and hydrogen. When calcium it react with water, we get calcium hydroxide plus water plus hydrogen gas. So when we put calcium or a small piece of calcium in the water, then what happens, after some time the calcium come on the surface of water. This is because the hydrogen which is forming, it stick to the surface of calcium, and as the hydrogen is very light gas, it bring this calcium on the top of the water surface. Magnesium metal does not react with cold water. Magnesium react with hot water to form magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen. So here we can say that the reactivity of magnesium is less as compared to sodium and potassium. So it is not reacting with cold water, but when we put this magnesium in hot water, we get magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Calcium, it react with cold water, but magnesium react only with hot water. This shows that magnesium is less reactive than calcium. So if we see sodium and potassium, they are very reactive, then calcium, okay, is little less reactive. Then we are seeing magnesium, it is much less reactive than calcium also, because calcium it is reacting with cold water, but to react magnesium with water, we have to increase the temperature of water, we have to use the hot water. Magnesium react very rapidly with steam to form magnesium oxide and hydrogen. Now in the previous slide we have seen that magnesium, when it react with water, that is hot water, it forms magnesium hydroxide, but when the same magnesium reacts with steam, it forms magnesium oxide. So there we are getting magnesium hydroxide, but here we are getting magnesium oxide and hydrogen. So magnesium, when it reacts with steam, this H2A is in the form of steam, we get magnesium oxide and hydrogen. So when the magnesium reacts with hot water, it forms magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen, but when the same magnesium reacts with steam, it forms magnesium oxide and hydrogen. Metals like aluminium, zinc and iron, they do not react with either cold water or hot water. They react with steam to form metal oxide and hydrogen. So aluminium, when we react it with steam, we get aluminium oxide plus hydrogen. Now in the previous slide you have seen that I have not written the state of element, okay, when they are reacting. If you remember the state, it is always a good idea that you mention state in which they are reacting. So aluminum, as from this equation we can say that aluminum which is solid, it react with water which is in gaseous state, that means we are using vapor, we get aluminum oxide and hydrogen. In the same way, zinc, it react with steam and we get zinc oxide and hydrogen. And iron, it react with steam and we get iron oxide and hydrogen. So these metals, they react with steam. So aluminum, zinc, iron, they react with steam. Magnesium, we have seen that it can react with hot water as well as steam. Calcium, we have seen that it can react with cold water, and sodium and potassium, they are reacting with cold water, but their reaction is vigorous and they can catch fire even in water. And in all the cases, hydrogen gas is liberating. On the basis of the vigor of their reactions with steam, we can arrange magnesium, aluminum, zinc and iron metal in the decreasing order of their reactivity as magnesium, its reactivity is more. Magnesium, aluminum, zinc and iron, they are reacting with steam only, but their reactivity is like magnesium is more reactive than aluminum, aluminum is more reactive than zinc, and zinc is more reactive than iron. So now metals like lead, copper, silver and gold, they do not react with water even with the steam. So we are seeing that there are few elements, or we can see that metals, their reactivity towards oxygen, their reactivity towards water, it is not same, it is changing. Okay, few metals are more reactive, few metals are less reactive, and few metals they are not reactive at all. Okay, reaction of metal with acids, we are talking about dilute acids. So metal above the hydrogen in metal activity series, that we will see after some time, react with dilute acid to produce hydrogen. So again here, as in the case of water, we have seen that when metal are reacting with water, what we are getting hydrogen. In the same way, when metal they are reacting with dilute acid, we are getting hydrogen. So metal plus dilute acid, it gives us salt plus hydrogen. Metal react with dilute hydrochloric acid or dilute sulfuric acid to produce their corresponding salt and hydrogen gas. Nitric acid is not used because being a strong oxidizing agent, it immediately oxidizes hydrogen to produce water. So what we have seen that these metals, they react either with dilute hydrochloric acid or with dilute sulfuric acid. So they can react with both hydrochloric as well as sulfuric acid. Now after reaction, they are producing salt as well as hydrogen gas. Nitric acid, we are not using nitric acid because it is a strong oxidizing agent and it immediately oxidizes hydrogen to produce water. Sodium and potassium, they react vigorously with dilute acid and liberate tremendous amount of heat. So when sodium it reacts with HCl, it gives sodium chloride and hydrogen plus a good amount of energy, heat energy. Magnesium, calcium, zinc, aluminum, they react moderately with acid. So when magnesium it reacts with HCl, it gives magnesium chloride plus hydrogen. Zinc, when it reacts with H2SO4, it gives ZnSO4 plus H2. You can write the reaction with HCl also, so you will get ZnCl2. When aluminum it reacts with HCl, we get AlCl3 plus H2, etc. Iron react with the dilute acid very slowly. So when iron react with HCl, we get iron chloride, that is FeCl2 plus hydrogen. So we have seen that when metal they react with acids, they react with dilute acid, we say, then what we get? We get salt and hydrogen gas. Lead, copper, silver and gold, they do not react with dilute mineral acids. Metals like copper and zinc, they react with concentrated acid. So when copper we react with concentrated H2SO4, we get CuSO4 plus H2O plus sulfur dioxide. So there are metals which do not react with dilute acid, but there are few metals who are not reacting with dilute, they can react with concentrated acid. Like copper, when it reacts with concentrated H2SO4, we get CuSO4, water and sulfur dioxide. Very dilute nitric acid, however, react with magnesium and manganese metal to evolve hydrogen gas. In the beginning, what we have said that metals, we are not reacting with nitric acid because these nitric acids, they are being a good oxidizing agent, they oxidize the hydrogen formed water. But if you are using very dilute nitric acid, then they react with magnesium and manganese and they evolve hydrogen gas. So magnesium it react with very dilute nitric acid to form magnesium nitrate and hydrogen gas. So Mg magnesium, when it react with dilute nitric acid, it gives magnesium nitrate MgNO3 twice plus hydrogen. Similarly, when manganese react with very dilute nitric acid, we get manganese nitrate and hydrogen gas. So manganese plus dilute nitric acid gives manganese nitrate and hydrogen. So here we have seen that metals they react with dilute acid, they react with dilute hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid. We have seen that magnesium and manganese they also can react with very dilute nitric acid. Okay, when they react with these acids, dilute acids, what we get? We get hydrogen gas along with their respective salt. Now, what is aqua regia? Aqua regia is a freshly prepared mixture of 1 part of concentrated nitric acid and 3 part of concentrated hydrochloric acid. Okay, so what is aqua regia? Aqua regia is a freshly prepared mixture of 1 part of concentrated nitric acid and 3 part of concentrated hydrochloric acid. This aqua regia can dissolve all the metals. it can even dissolve gold and platinum. So when we see that there are some people who ask us to give our gold ornament, and they promise us that they will clean it. That means they will make our gold again shine as it is new. So what they are doing, they are putting these ornaments in the solution of aqua regia, so that the surface gold, it dissolves in this aqua regia along with some dust and other impurities, and we get the gold with a bright shine. Okay, but what we lose here, we lose some part of gold in aqua regia. Now let us see what is reactivity series of metal. So far what we have seen, that when metal is reacting with oxygen, or when metal is reacting with water, or when metal is reacting with acid, what we are saying that there are few metals whose reactivity is more, there are few metals whose reactivity is less. And we have seen that consistently for each kind of reaction, we have seen that yes, some particular metals, they are very reactive as compared to other. So what we will do, we will arrange these metals in some order, so that the most reactive metals will be on one side and the least reactive metals will be on other side. So the arrangement of metal in a vertical column in the order of decreasing reactivity is called reactivity series of metal. We can also call this as activity series of metal. So what is reactivity series? Again, this is very important topic. What is activity series, or what is reactivity series of metal? So activity series or reactivity series of metal is nothing but it is the arrangement of metals in vertical column in the order of decreasing reactivity, called reactivity series of metals. In the reactivity series, the most reactive metals are placed at the top, whereas the least reactive metals is placed at the bottom. Now let us see the activity series or the reactivity series. In the reactivity series, the metal which I am writing at the top are the most reactive. So potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminum, zinc, iron, lead, hydrogen, copper, mercury, silver and gold. So at the top we have metal which is highly reactive, and at the bottom we have metal which is least reactive. Now here you will see that there are some symbols of element, okay, which are not related with their name. Like here I use symbol K, but I am saying it is potassium. So potassium should start with P, but I have written K. So why so? Because these are the metals whose name or whose symbols we have taken from their Latin or Greek or Arabic name. So here this K, actually in Latin it is Kalium. So for Kalium we have taken symbol K. In English we are called this as potassium, but in Latin it is Kalium, and from there we have taken its a symbol. So the symbols of the element, they are mostly from English name, but some of the element have their origin in their Latin or Greek name. Similarly, this second is natrium, Na. Then here calcium, magnesium, aluminum, zinc, okay. This iron, okay, English name is iron, but in Latin this is ferrum. Sometimes we call this as ferrous in English also. This is ferrum in Latin. Then this is plumbum, hydrogen, this is hydrogen. This is copper, but in Latin it is cuprum. This is mercury, but in Latin this is hydregrium. This is silver, but in Latin this is argentum. And finally this is aurum in Latin. So these are their symbols, okay. Now we have to learn this reactivity series, okay. Why we have to learn this reactivity series? because after learning you will know which metal is more reactive, which is less reactive. Okay, so we have already seen displacement reaction. Okay, in displacement reaction, more reactive element displaces less reactive element, or we can say that more reactive metal displaces less reactive metal from its solved solution. So which metal will displace which metal, that you can come to know from this activity or reactivity series. So you have to learn this. Now there are few students who can learn them with their symbol as it is given, but for some it is difficult, so they can use mnemonic. As I generally use this mnemonic. For K I use Katrina, for sodium Na I use Ne, Katrina Ne, so K Na. Katrina ne car मांगी ऑल्टो जेन फरारी. So Katrina ने कार मांगी ऑल्टो जेन फरारी. फिर भी PB that is फिर भी है क्यों मिली, this is for mercury, मिली सिल्वर ऑडी. ओके, कतरीना ने कार मांगी ऑल्टो जेन फरारी, फिर भी है क्यों मिली सिल्वर ऑडी. I think this, okay, you will take less time to remember. कतरीना ने कार मांगी ऑल्टो जेन फरारी, फिर भी है क्यों मिली सिल्वर ऑडी. And you first learn this and then try to put the symbols. Once you write the symbol, you know the name. This is sodium, this is potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminum, zinc, iron, lead, hydrogen, copper, mercury, silver and gold. Okay, K is calcium, natrium, ferrum, plumbum, cuprum, hydrogium, argentum and aurum. So in this lecture we have seen some of the reactions. We have seen some of the reactions of metal, okay, chemical reactions of metal, and we have seen the reactivity series. We have seen that how metals are reacting with oxygen, how metals are reacting with water, how metals are reacting with dilute sulfuric and hydrochloric acid, how they are reacting with nitric acid. So for nitric acid we have seen that very dilute nitric acid can be used, okay, for reaction, and we have seen that there are few metals who are not reacting with dilute acid but they can react with concentrated acid. And finally we have seen this reactivity series. Okay, you have to learn this reactivity series. In the next lecture we will continue our journey with the reaction of metals, okay, the chemical reactions of metal as well as non-metal. Okay, so non-metal we have not seen in this lecture, we are going to see in the coming lecture. Thank you.